name is Brian Ida. I'm a painter. I consider myself a painter. An artist is kind of too broad of a term, maybe a little bit for me, because I pretty much just paint. I grew up playing music. As a little kid, played French horn and played in symphonies, youth symphonies. And I studied electronic music composition in college. And I started working for Sam Francis in my 20s. He let me actually work in that facility. So I had this whole studio with canvases and paper and paints, and I knew how to work it because I was technically working because I was his studio assistant. So I started painting in a kind of never looked back. I was painting full time. The first show I did, I sold a lot for some fucking reason, so that encouraged me too. Sounds are a lot like color. You can kind of mix your own sounds and mix your own color. There's a lot of correlation between music and painting. They're the same expression, just different senses. Music, the time is controlled by the musician, and in painting, the time is controlled by the viewer, because they get the painting and they can see the painting. They can look at it for a second, they can look at it for 2 hours, and they can look at it whenever they want. Music, you kind of have to play the whole song or play the whole piece. And painting, you get the whole experience. You could have the whole experience in a second, or you could have the whole experience in a lifetime. I kind of like that idea of time, how it changes. I started San Francisco style with acrylics. I switched to oils, kind of doing this little liquidy movement thing that Sam did, and then I pretty much said I wanted to do my own thing, so I completely rejected all that. About 7 years ago, I started working in layers of epoxy and layering paint in the epoxy, so there's a physical depth to it. A couple years ago, I developed a technique to use an acrylic urethane. It's really thin, so it doesn't build depth quickly, and I like to have the surfaces really smooth. I've been using about 200 coats of acrylic clear and using the acrylic urethane as a medium, and mixing paint in it, and really thin glazes. And it's different. I like it. It's kind of like a Japanese lacquer, where they did 150 coats and they hand buff the end, so there's this really wonderful finish at the end. Because I never wanted to be influenced by something. I always wanted to find my own way and find my way of doing it. And whether it's right or wrong, it's like there is no right or wrong in painting. So I do maybe a show every 6 months. So I can work on multiple pieces at once for sure. So I think maybe 10, 15 pieces in 6 months. Depends how big they are. A gallerist told me a long time ago is artists should invest in themselves, and the way to invest in yourself is to keep your old work. Keep some of your, especially the best of your series. So I've always kept the first one that start a series, and I'll work in series for maybe from anywhere from 2 to 5 years. So the first one for me is super important, and I always try and keep the first one. I think I got most of my first ones. A few got away, but I didn't even know they were the first ones. That's why they got away. I've gone to New York and Taipei and Japan, but my art's been a lot of Asia, and then England and Germany, and like Sweden. It's kind of all over. As far as solo shows, it's been New York, Taipei, LA, and San Francisco. Those are my 4 galleries. I pretty much work every day from 11 to 8, unless I'm fishing. I'd go fishing maybe a little bit, not as much as I used to. But I come in 11 to 8 every day, 7 days a week. I just like it. I like working. I mean, this is what I want to do.